Why did Caroline's phone buzz endlessly, and nobody answered? Was it the wind, or something far worse moving in the shadows? Her last laugh, echoing down the empty lane, feels like a warning now. The gravel crunched under her sneakers, uneven and jagged. The street lamps flickered with the faint hum of electricity, almost imperceptible, yet enough to make the night feel alive. Somewhere behind a screen door, a dog barked, quick and sharp, then silence swallowed the sound. I remember the way Caroline held her sketchbook. Edges worn, pages bent at corners like they held secrets only she could read. I was late, so I didn't see her get into the car at first. A stranger had pulled over. Lizzie, her voice smooth and polite, but the smile didn't reach her eyes. Something in her posture. Stiff, too measured, too rehearsed. Tidy paced the kitchen, cell phone pressed to her ear. She should have texted by now, she whispered, voice trembling. Outside, the night seemed to close in. Shadows stretched from the barns, the fences, the old silos. Every sound, the snap of a twig, a distant engine, sent her heart skipping. Caroline glanced at the backseat mirror. The reflection didn't match the comfort she expected. Something shifted. Lizzie's hands twitched near the gear stick. Caroline's pulse thumped in her ears. Maybe I'm imagining it, she thought, trying to steady her breathing. But the hairs on her neck refused to lie down. Meanwhile, across the road, Mrs. Delgado's curtains quivered. The old woman's eyes were sharp behind thick glasses. She had seen too many things, heard too much. And tonight, she swore she saw the phone buzz on the dashboard. Alone, abandoned, vibrating like a warning pulse. Rachel Kim, passing on her bike, caught a flash of movement. Too quick to identify, too fleeting to trust. Was it Caroline stepping inside? Or something else sliding silently in the shadows? The engine hummed, but it wasn't the normal rhythm of a car starting. Felt deliberate, calculated. And then the lane fell silent again. No laugh, no goodbye. Just a single, lingering echo of Caroline's last words to Tidy. I'll be back in 15. The night wrapped tighter around the country road. The hum of electricity, the buzz of a lonely phone, the distant dog bark, all waiting. Waiting for someone to notice. Waiting for someone to act. Waiting for the moment when the ordinary slips into something terrifying. And in that pause, I swear the air held its breath. Was Caroline even on her way home? Or had she stepped into something she could never leave? Caroline always carried her sketchbook everywhere. Faded drawings spilled across pages. Barns, windmills, small country roads she loved. Tonight, the sketchbook rested in her lap, untouched, edges catching the dim streetlight. Tidy replayed Caroline's morning in her mind. Breakfast barely touched. Laughing at a joke she couldn't remember. A quick hug that lingered just a second too long. Nothing seemed unusual. And yet, now, every memory trembled like fragile glass. Lizzie's voice broke the quiet. It'll just be a short ride, right? The words sounded rehearsed, clipped. Caroline nodded, feeling the odd rigidity in the driver's posture. The rearview mirror caught her reflection. Wide eyes, tight jaw, hands gripping the sketchbook. Down the road, Mrs. Delgado noticed a shadow slip behind the trees. Something small, fleeting, something that didn't belong. She squinted, swore she saw Caroline's outline shiver, then vanish into the dark. Caroline's phone buzzed again. She reached instinctively, but Lizzie's hand brushed over hers, polite, lingering. The vibration echoed through the quiet car like a warning. She didn't see Tidy pacing at home, waiting for an answer that would never come. And Rachel Kim's memory, unreliable as it was, lingered. The snap of a branch, a glimpse of movement. She couldn't tell if Caroline had really gotten in the car or if her eyes had betrayed her. Every ordinary detail, the worn sneakers, the sketchbook, the hum of the engine now felt ominous. Every heartbeat reminded her of the fragility of safety. Caroline's last thought, barely whispered, hung in the air. I hope I'm not making a mistake. And just like that, the ordinary night started twisting, inch by inch, into something no one could have imagined. Tidy's hands shook as she stared at Caroline's phone. Each buzz felt heavier than the last. No answer. Just the vibration echoing through the empty kitchen like a heartbeat that didn't belong to her sister. Outside, the wind stirred the fields. The tall grass whispered, brushing against the fence posts. Somewhere in that stretch, Caroline's footsteps should have returned. Should have. Mrs. Delgado pressed her ear to the window again. That buzzing, unmistakable, came from the lane, not her house. Her heart pounded. She wanted to call, to run, to do something, but the night kept her frozen. Down the road, a truck passed slowly. Its headlights cut across the dark, illuminating a figure hunched over the sketchbook on the back seat. Was Caroline sketching? Or was she trying to hide herself? Tidy's mind replayed every morning laugh, every hurried goodbye. The small, ordinary details she'd taken for granted now screamed at her. The soda Caroline always carried. The hoodie she liked to tug around her shoulders. All gone. All fragments of a life she couldn't reach. Rachel Kim's fleeting memory returned. A second glance at the car. A feeling that something wasn't right. She tried to convince herself she imagined it. But the buzzing kept returning in her ears. The air felt thick, heavy, like something unseen was watching, waiting. And in that silence, Tidy whispered Caroline's name into the darkness. Hearing it bounce back from the empty country road. No answer. Just the soft, haunting vibration of a phone that would not be answered. The GPS pinged. Not where Caroline should have been. Not where Lizzie said she was going. Just a blinking dot lost in the middle of empty fields. Moving too slow, then stopping altogether. Tidy's fingers tightened around the sketchbook. Every time she glanced at the phone buzzing silently on the counter, a hollow ache filled her chest. Each vibration felt like a pulse of warning. Officer Raymond Hale studied the footage again. Building camera, then dashcam from the highway. Lizzie's car appeared on screen, but the timestamps didn't match her story. She said 15 minutes. The video said 42. Rachel Kim's testimony wavered. She swore she saw Caroline slide into the front seat, smiling nervously. But another witness, passing late, remembered a backseat shadow, and Lizzie's door swinging differently than it should have. Conflicting, fractured, impossible to piece together. And the buzzing, always that buzzing. A single, lonely vibration, like Caroline was reaching out from somewhere she couldn't be found. In the car, the sketchbook lay open. Caroline's sketches, unfinished, trembled on the page. Lines that once captured barns and skies now seemed jagged, frantic, almost alive with fear. Something had unsettled her in those last moments, something no one could explain. Lizzie's calm exterior began to falter under scrutiny. Small gestures, hand over the gear stick, gaze flicking too quickly to the rearview mirror, a tightening jaw, hinted at secrets too heavy to admit. The country road was quiet again. Too quiet. Every ordinary sound, the hum of electricity, distant dogs, rustling grass, now carried a weight. The weight of absence, of unanswered calls, of a missing life. And Tidy, staring at the silent phone, whispered to herself, "Where are you, Caroline? Why won't you answer?" The car slowed again. Not at a crossroads, not near any house. Just stopped. Lizzie's eyes flicked to the rearview mirror, then back to the empty road, hands gripping the wheel too tightly. Tidy's phone buzzed once more. No name, no message, just vibration. She picked it up, heart hammering, staring at the screen. It's Caroline. It has to be. But the line stayed dead. Rachel Kim tried to piece together what she saw or thought she saw. The shadow in the back seat, the way the headlights glinted off something metallic, the way Lizzie's posture seemed unnatural. Her memory fractured itself over and over, refusing to settle. Officer Hale called the local dispatcher again. GPS discrepancies, timestamps that didn't match, Lizzie's rehearsed explanations. Small cracks forming into a web too complex to ignore. And still the buzzing, that persistent, lonely vibration echoing through the silent night. Caroline's sketches were spread across the back seat. Frantic lines, jagged angles, unfinished shapes. One page looked like a map, but when Hale examined it, the landmarks didn't exist anywhere. The sketches were Caroline's, but something else seemed hidden inside them. Coded panic only she knew. Across the road, Mrs. Delgado noticed a glint in the moonlight. The car door, slightly ajar, moving as if someone had shifted inside. But when she blinked, the figure seemed gone. The country lane, quiet and empty again, swallowed the movement like it never happened. And in the silence, the buzzing continued. A lonely, urgent heartbeat. Tidy pressed the phone to her ear. No voice, no Caroline, just the vibration, relentless and haunting. Had she even gotten into the car? Or was the shadow Rachel saw something else entirely? Lizzie's story began to unravel in the harsh fluorescent light of the dispatcher's office. Every detail she'd given clashed with evidence. The GPS, dashcam, and Caroline's sketchbook now formed a tangled web. Tidy watched the live feed of the car again. Lizzie's hand reached for something beneath the seat, then froze. A shadow of hesitation. A breath that didn't match the calm she'd claimed earlier. The buzzing phone appeared again, this time vibrating silently on the center console. No caller ID, no message. Just a warning that Caroline was still out there, or maybe a clue of what had already happened. Officer Hale noticed something subtle but impossible to ignore. The timestamps. Lizzie had claimed to stop for gas. Video footage showed no gas station along her route. Yet she insisted it happened. Something was being hidden, small, precise, and deliberate. Rachel Kim's recollection returned in fragments. A glimpse of Caroline's sneakers. A hand reaching toward the phone. A shadow across the dashboard. Each memory conflicted with the last. Was she remembering Caroline? Or Lizzie? Or something she couldn't name? And then the sketchbook, the map-like page. Officer Hale noticed markings that didn't exist on any road. A pattern emerged. A route winding through empty fields, broken fences, and abandoned barns. Caroline had sketched it, but it seemed to predict something. Something dangerous. Tidy's whispered please filled the room. Caroline, please answer. Please come back to me. But the phone never rang with her sister's voice. Only the buzzing. The night stretched heavier, denser. Every ordinary sound. A distant dog, a snapping branch, the hum of electricity, now carried dread. The contradictions had piled too high. Every small gesture, every discrepancy, pointed to a truth that Tidy, Rachel, and even Officer Hale weren't ready to face. And in that silence, the question hung like fog over the country lane. What had really happened to Caroline, and who was telling the truth? The gravel crunched again, but this time it wasn't Caroline's steps. Lizzie's car sat abandoned, doors locked, engine cold. Inside, the sketchbook lay open. Pages marked with frantic, chaotic lines pointing to the barn at the edge of town. Officer Hale stepped carefully through the tall grass, flashlight slicing through the night. Each beam revealed scraps of evidence. A scarf caught on a fence, a faint footprint pressed into the mud. Caroline's sneakers were nearby, not broken, not hidden, just left. Then, the sound everyone had been waiting for. A phone buzzing. The same lonely vibration Tidy had tracked all night. This time, it came from inside the barn. Tidy's hands trembled as she pushed open the door. There, huddled but alive, was Caroline. She was frightened, exhausted, but safe. Lizzie had panicked, attempting to hide her, thinking no one would notice. But her lies had unraveled too fast. The evidence, the timestamps, the GPS, all pointing straight to her. Police arrested Lizzie that night. Every contradiction, every small gesture, every flash of unease had been enough to bring the truth to light. Caroline's life, her sketches, her voice. All preserved, all reclaimed. The barn smelled of hay and damp earth, but amidst it all, a fragile sense of relief settled. Caroline hugged Tidy, the phone still buzzing softly on the floor. The country night no longer whispered fear, it held a quiet triumph. And as the stars blinked over the quiet lane, Officer Hale reflected on the small truths that had saved a life. The buzzing phone, the fractured sketches, the shadows everyone had noticed but dismissed. Justice, in the end, had come through patience, observation, and relentless pursuit of the truth. Caroline was home. Lizzie was in custody. And the ordinary night had finally been reclaimed. Small Blue Diamond, don't forget to subscribe to the Veil of Secret for more gripping true crime stories that will haunt your mind long after the screen goes dark.